Something shifts in a person when they stop treating time as neutral, when they stop assuming there will always be a better moment, a cleaner opening, a version of the conversation that carries less risk than this one. Because time is not neutral. Every day that passes with something important unsaid is also a day that something real goes unacknowledged between two people, and the person in this reading has understood that, not as a concept, not as something they read somewhere, as a lived, felt urgency that has taken hold of them and is now moving them forward faster than they planned. They are not easing into this. They are rushing toward it because they finally understand what waiting costs. Before we go in, take a breath right now. A real one. Let everything else you were carrying before you clicked on this settle somewhere to the side. This reading has something specific to say, and it lands better when you are actually here for it. Welcome to Moonlit Arcana. Today, the cards are speaking to someone who has stopped waiting for the perfect moment and started moving because they want a future with you, and they are done letting fear make that decision for them. Let's go deeper. The Knight of Wands is the first card, and it landed with an energy I want to describe accurately. The Knight of Wands is not reckless. I know he often gets read that way, as someone who acts without thinking. That is not what I am seeing here. What I am seeing is someone who has done the thinking, has done it thoroughly, has sat with it for longer than was comfortable, has run the scenarios and weighed the outcomes and talked themselves into and out of it more times than they would like to admit. And then they reached a point where all of that processing resolved into a single clear impulse, move. The Knight of Wands in this position is not impulsiveness. It is the specific momentum of someone who has finished deliberating and is now simply doing the thing they know they need to do. They are moving toward you with that energy, directed, purposeful, fast. The Page of Wands is sitting beside the Knight, and together these two cards are telling me something important about the quality of what this person is carrying. The Page of Wands is the energy of genuine excitement, not performed enthusiasm, not the bravado of someone who's trying to convince themselves they are more confident than they feel, but real, alive, can barely contain it, excitement about what they are moving toward. They are not approaching this confession as an ordeal to get through. They are approaching it as something they actually want to do. There is a lightness in them alongside the urgency, the specific lightness of someone who has stopped dreading a thing and started looking forward to it. They want to say this, they want you to know. The anticipation has tipped from anxiety into something that feels closer to joy. The Three of Wands is appearing now, and this card in this reading is carrying the same meaning it did for the person in our last reading. It is the card of someone standing at the edge of what they have been building, watching their ships come in. But the specific nuance here is different. In this reading, the Three of Wands is about the future they have been picturing. They have not just been thinking about the confession itself. They have been thinking about what comes after it. The mornings, the conversations, the ordinary days made different by having you in them. The future has been alive in their imagination for long enough that saying nothing has started to feel like living in a holding pattern above a destination they can already see. They do not want to circle anymore. They want to land. The Tower reversed is here, and I want to address it honestly because the Tower reversed in a love reading is often misread as something negative lingering. It is not. In this position, The Tower reversed is the card of a crisis that has already happened internally, a collapse of the old structure, the old way of managing this feeling that has already taken place and been survived. At some point, this person's careful management of what they feel for you broke down. The story they had been telling themselves, that they could keep this contained, that they could continue functioning normally around you without saying anything, that this would eventually settle. That story collapsed. The Tower reversed means the collapse is past tense. They are already on the other side of it. What they are moving toward you with now is the person who came through that collapse. Clearer, less defended, done pretending. The Six of Cups is coming in now, and it is bringing a quality I want to speak to carefully. This card carries the energy of genuine recognition, the specific warmth of encountering something that feels familiar at a level that bypasses logic. This person does not experience their feeling for you as something that developed gradually through accumulation of evidence. It arrived in them with a quality of recognition, as though something in them had been waiting for exactly this. They did not decide to feel this way. They found themselves already feeling it, as though it had always been true, and they had only just caught up with what they already knew. That quality, the recognition, the sense of something that feels right, in a way that precedes rational explanation, is part of what is driving the urgency. You do not walk away from something that feels like that, you walk toward it. The Five of Pentacles reversed is in this reading, and I will tell you plainly what it means here. The Five of Pentacles upright is lack, the experience of being out in the cold, of something essential being missing, of carrying on without the thing you actually need. Reversed, it is the ending of that lack, the coming in from the cold. This person has been in a kind of emotional winter, not necessarily a dramatic or difficult life, but a specific absence of the particular warmth that only exists between two people who are fully honest with each other about how they feel. They have felt that absence. They know what it is like to be around you and not say the real thing and then carry that unsaid thing home with them at the end of the day. The Five of Pentacles reversed is them deciding that winter is over. They are done being in the cold of their own silence. The Ace of Cups is here, and in the context of everything else in this reading, it is the card that names what they are rushing toward you with. Not a strategy, not a carefully constructed presentation of themselves designed to produce a specific response. The Ace of Cups is the full cup, love in its clearest, least defended form. What they want to give you is the honest version, the unedited one. They have been carrying this for long enough that the weight of it has become more uncomfortable than the risk of saying it. And what they want to put down in front of you, not as a burden, but as a gift, as the most honest thing they currently have to offer, is simply this. They love you. They want a future with you. And no matter what you say back to them, they need you to know that. The Star is at the close of the card spread, and it is the card I always trust most when it comes to questions about what is true versus what is wished for. The Star does not flatter. It does not appear in readings where someone is deluding themselves or chasing something that is not there. It appears when something is genuinely illuminated. When the underlying energy of a situation is real and clear and oriented toward light. What the Star is confirming in this reading is that what this person feels is not manufactured. It has not been constructed out of loneliness or projection or wishful thinking. It is real. It is specific to you, and the urgency with which they are moving toward you right now is proportional to the reality of it, because real things, once acknowledged, do not let you treat them as optional. Let me set the cards down for a moment. I want to say something about the specific phrase in this reading's title, no matter the outcome, because that phrase is doing something important. It is the part of this that is not about strategy or calculation or managing risk. It is the part that is simply true. This person is not rushing toward you because they have convinced themselves you will say yes. They are rushing toward you because the alternative, continuing to exist in your life without you knowing how they feel, has become something they are no longer willing to do. The outcome they are hoping for and the action they are taking have separated. They are taking the action regardless. That is not desperation. That is one of the cleaner forms of courage I know how to describe. They are choosing honesty over safety. That is worth receiving well, whatever you decide. That is your reading. Someone moving toward you with urgency and honesty and a future already built in their mind. What you do with that is yours to decide. But know what it is before you decide. If this resonated, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Subscribe to Moonlit Arcana for readings that give you the honest version. Always take good care of yourselves.